Wait. Hold on. Wait 1 second. So y'all gonna sit here and tell me that Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles, Katie Clark averages less minutes. She averages more points. And she averages more assists than Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles against the top defensive teams in the league. And here are my numbers. I don't want anybody to say I'm just making stuff up. You can go do the math yourself. Like I say, Jay Williams. This is Jay Williams Sports. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I greatly appreciate it. Yo, this is not gonna be no long video today. This is gonna be short. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be to the point. We are spitting out facts. We are spitting out facts. Do you know? Do you realize how crazy it must be to score 19 points, 10 assists, and the narrative coming out after the game is how you never play well against good teams? That's diabolical. That's diabolical. And let me give a disclaimer. This is no hate. This is no hate to any player I mentioned in this video. I'm a sports fan. I love debating and talking sports. I want to get back to sports. Hey, there's going to be a time on this channel where sometimes you have to address the nonsense that's going on surrounding this league. But to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to limit that because I like talking about sports. My favorite player is Caitlin Clark, and I think she's a dog. I think she's the best point guard in the league. She played Olivia Miles yesterday. Olivia Miles is a good point guard. I have no issues with Olivia Miles. I like watching Olivia Miles also, but Caitlin Clark is my point guard. She is the best point guard in the league. She is my favorite point guard, and that's the reason I'm making this video, because we got to address the nonsense that's going on right now. We got to address the nonsense that's going on right now. Apparently, Caitlin Clark only has good games against bad teams. Well, let me just say this. Part of being a great player is you dominate bad teams. Like, what are we even talking about right now? Patrick Mahomes, guess what? He throws for 500 yards and 5 tutties against bad teams. You know what he does against good defenses? 250, 1 touchdown, still puts on a great performance. Still puts on a great performance. That's why I like talking sports, because I will back up my talk with facts. Let's get it. This popped up here on my X. Like I said, I don't have social media. I literally just created this X account because I just created my YouTube. But I don't have Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Threads. I don't have none of this stuff. So I be late to a lot of the news that's going on. I got X just so I can quickly react to some highlights around the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. But this popped up on my homepage. And shout out to this guy. I don't know this guy. Go follow him. It's no hate whatsoever. This just discourse. This popped up on my X homepage. Caitlin Clark has 25 points 9 times this season. 6 of those 9 performances took place against the Storm, Sun, Sky, and Fire. Those 4 teams have a combined record of 35 and 83. Listen, that's fine and dandy. That's what you are supposed to do against bad teams. You're going to have your best games against bad teams. I don't even know why this is a narrative, but like I say, shout out to you, brother. But I'm going to quickly debunk this in just a few minutes. I thought some of the comments were interesting, though. We got this X account. Always an excuse, everyone plays those teams, right? Facts. Everybody plays everybody in sports, in the WNBA. Everybody plays everybody. So everybody has the opportunity to put up great numbers against bad teams, right? And then this page went on to say, not talking about Asia, Paige, Miles, Reed's performances against those teams. Caitlin has great games, always an excuse. Bad game, always on Caitlin, come on. He responded to what he responded. This is what I thought was the best comment. Static Shack. Like I said, I don't know none of these people. These are all random X accounts. I don't follow none of these accounts, by the way. But this was the comment that I wanted to highlight right here. He's talking about Marina Mabry that plays for Toronto, scored 53 points against the Sparks. I'm not sure what you're trying to prove here. Great players tend to play well against bad teams. This isn't news. Also, 25 points is an interesting benchmark, by the way. And that's basically that comment shuts down the whole conversation. Everybody plays well against bad teams. That's why they're bad, right? That's why they're bad. But this is what I want to get into today. This is what I have done a little homework, crunched a little numbers, and I just want to make this point perfectly clear. Once again, isn't it crazy how somebody can have 19 points and 10 assists. Them are Hall of Fame numbers for a point guard, by the way. 19 points and 10 assists. And the narrative coming out that game is how Caitlin Clark doesn't play well against good teams. I don't even think they know when they say stuff like this, they're admitting how great this woman is. When you say 19 and 10 against a top defense in the league is bad, it's a bad game, you are admitting that she is a great player. You are admitting that. But let's get into it. Right here, we have a list of the top defensive teams in the league, defensive rating, right? Defensive rating. We have the Valkyries, we have the Lynx, we have the Mystics, and we have the Dreams. And we have the Dream. So I took it upon myself to compare the numbers between Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles. Kelsey Mitchell, you're not in this conversation simply because you're on the same team as Caitlin Clark. I didn't feel like doing that, even though if I did that, the numbers will prove that Caitlin Clark is a better player than Kelsey Mitchell. But shout out to Kelsey Mitchell. I think she's the best two-guard in the league over Paige Bueckers this year. Shout out to Kelsey Mitchell. Breanna Stewart, I don't even know why you're on this post right now. You're a great player. You had a legendary career, but you shouldn't even be on here right now. This is between Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles. Like I say, this is no hate. This is no hate. I'm just talking numbers. If you want to hop in my comments, we can debate. You don't gotta get all nasty, disrespectful, because I promise you I won't. All right? I won't say no, not a bad word about you or nobody, not your favorite player. That's not how I get down. But I will debate. I'm a sports fan. We can get into it. But this is between Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles. Let me get back to this. Let me explain what I'm about to do, or what I already did. So the top three teams, defensive teams, are the Valkyries, Lynx, Mystics. For Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, I was able to get 7 games that they each played against the Valkyries, Lynx, and Mystics. Olivia Miles, obviously, it's a little different story because she's on the Lynx, so I had to put her games against the Valkyries, Mystics, and Dream. And she only had 6 games against the Valkyries, Mystics, and Dreams. So 7 games for 7 games for 7 games for Caitlin and Paige, and 6 games for Olivia against the top rated defensive teams in the league. And we're gonna see what the numbers say. All right. First up, we have Paige. Paige Bueckers against the top 3 defensive teams in the league. These games are in order. I didn't put the date. This stuff takes a lot of time. I just made it as quickly as possible, as organized as possible. But these are the teams that are listed, or how they played them throughout the season, starting from May, onwards up to where we at now, August. But I want the numbers on the screen so you can fact check what I'm saying. I don't know about y'all, but when I came to school, I couldn't just give answers. I had to show my work. And what I'm finna do right now is BTA. I'm finna BTA. Paige Bueckers, she played Atlanta Dreams 32 minutes, 15 points, 3 assists. Then she played Minnesota 31 minutes, 27 points, 8 assists. That's a good game. Atlanta Dream, 31 minutes, 7 points, 7 assists. And we're not going to even mention the 6 points she just scored against Connecticut. If that was Caitlin, it'd be a firestorm on the internet. But that's another day. Caitlin is held to a different standard, obviously. Against the Lynx, 30 minutes, 23 points, 2 assists. Golden State Valkyries, who is the number 1 defensive team in the league, 36 minutes, 15 points, 8 assists. Minnesota Lynx, 36, 25, 4. Atlanta Dream, 37, 16, and 6. Over these 7 games, she averaged 33 minutes. And I rounded up or down, by the way. If the whole number, if the decimal number was above 5 or above, I rounded up. If it was 4 or below, I rounded down. So she averaged 33 minutes, 18 points, and 5 assists against the top defensive teams in the league. All right? Olivia Miles, like I say, she got 6 games because obviously she can't play herself on the Lynx. She played Atlanta Dream 34, 21, 8. Atlanta Dream again 34, 16, 8. Valkyries 28, 28, and 7. That's a good game, especially against a good defense. She played the Valkyries again. Didn't go so good. 32, 7, and 4. Washington Mystics, 32, 22, and 6. And then Washington Mystics again, 32, 21, and 5. All right. Olivia Miles, average minute per game. It actually was 32.5. So I did her a favor. I rounded down. Instead of rounding up and giving her 33 minutes, I rounded down and gave her 32. It was 32 minutes for Olivia Miles, 19 points and 6 assists. All right. These against the best defensive teams in the league. So Paige Bueckers, 33 minutes, 18 points, 5 assists. Olivia Miles, 32 minutes, 19 points and 6 assists. Caitlin Clark, this is who we all here for, right? I'm gonna hold off on the averages. Caitlin Clark against the Golden State Valkyries. And keep in mind, Valkyries are the best defensive team in the league. Caitlin Clark played them 3 times. She's the only player out of this group who played the Valkyries 3 times. Golden State, 32, 22, and 9. That's a good game against a good defense. Golden State again, 29, 16, and 6. She played the Dream, where she had 31, 17, and 8. Atlanta Dream again, where she had 31, 26, and 7. And then she played Atlanta Dream again, 34, 26, and 7. 34 minutes, 26 points, and 7 assists if you're not watching the video, if you're just listening. She played Golden State for the 3rd time, 26 minutes, 13 points, 6 assists. She played the Minnesota Lynx yesterday, 34 minutes, 19 points, 10 assists. So these are Caitlin Clark, Olivia Miles, and Paige Bueckers against the top defensive teams in the league. Let's see what Caitlin averages. Caitlin averages 31 minutes, 20 points, and 8 assists. Hold on. Because the narrative is that she doesn't play well against top teams after scoring 19 and 10, by the way, which will be Hall of Fame numbers. All right. So out of these 3 players, Olivia Miles, Paige Bueckers, and Caitlin Clark, you're telling me that Caitlin Clark averages less minutes played at 31. The other 2 players, 32, and Paige is 33. Caitlin Clark averages less minutes. She averages more points, and she averages more assists than Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles against the top defensive teams in the league. And here are my numbers. I don't want anybody to say I'm just making stuff up. You can go do the math yourself. Like I say, I rounded to whole numbers, so you will get decimals. You'll get like 20 point whatever, 31, but I round it up or down. All right? These are the numbers. Caitlin Clark, less minutes played, more points average, and more assists average than Olivia and Paige. Like I say, this is not hate. This is just talking basketball. This is just talking basketball. This isn't hate. But this is facts. This is facts. Y'all can't come to my comments talking a whole bunch of nonsense and not think I'm not going to verify it. Caitlin Clark's my favorite player. So I'm going to push the narratives that are factual based. You can't just come in my comments talking a whole bunch of nonsense. All right, let's go to their best games. Let's end it right here. Let's go to their best games. These are their best games. Paige Bueckers, and I did this by points, by the way. So Paige Bueckers, unless I accidentally missed something, this year her highest point game was 34. I believe, 34. She played 38 minutes that game against Toronto Temple, right? Who's a horrible defensive team. She played 38 minutes, scored 34 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on 13 for 22 from the field. Olivia Miles versus the Seattle Storm. Her best game, 36 minutes, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists on 13 for 24 field goal. Caitlin Clark best game against Seattle Storm. 29 minutes, 45 points, 29 minutes, 45 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists on 11 for 18 from the field goal. Stop telling me that she doesn't play well against good teams. When the two players y'all put above her or try to put above her doesn't play as well as her against the best teams. We gonna talk facts over here. Like I said, there is a time on this channel where I might have to get into the BS that's going on around WNBA, but I can keep it basketball and I can kill y'all with the facts. I can kill y'all with the facts. These are the facts. These are the facts. The narrative that y'all pushing is not true. And I'm going to debunk it as much as possible. Y'all are giving me content when y'all come up with these crazy lies, these crazy narratives, because I'm just going to make a video about it. I'm just gonna make a video about it. And I'm so glad I made this channel, because for the past couple years, I just used to be in the comments typing out long paragraphs. But now I can just hop on my channel and I can show y'all a video and I can kill the narrative. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, this is not hate. This is just basketball discussion. Caitlin Clark, the narrative y'all trying to push is not true. She plays well against good defensive teams. Obviously, she's not going to score 45 against the Valkyries. They're a good defensive team. You going to dominate the teams you're supposed to dominate, and you going to play well against the teams you're supposed to play well. Right? You going to play well against great defensive teams. Sometimes you going to play bad. But the numbers speak for themselves. The best defensive teams in the league, Caitlin Clark plays less minutes, averages more points, and averages more assists. And let's not even get into the discussion of how these players are played. There's no guard in the league that's guarded like Caitlin Clark. Now, I didn't find a legitimate source. I did find some numbers that proves that Caitlin Clark has been double teamed and trapped more than any other guard in the WNBA. But like I say, it was some articles. It wasn't a trusted source. It wasn't NBA reference or StatMuse. So I didn't put it in this video. But just know she is doubled and trapped more than any other guard in the league. All right, I'm gonna end it with this video about this with this young lady talking about how Caitlin Clark is being guarded compared to Paige and Olivia. But let me know what you think. I'm Jay Williams. This is Jay Williams Sports. Please leave a comment. Like I said, keep it respectful. I'm going to always keep it respectful. We can talk hoops. We can talk basketball. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I greatly appreciate it.
For the most
Peace.
Points per game created between, and then they've got Olivia Miles and Paige Bueckers coming up behind her. I always want to give context when photos like this are circulating or when stats like this are circulating, because again, neither of those other two girls, neither Olivia Miles or Paige Bueckers, has been or will ever be guarded the way Caitlin Clark has been guarded. They just won't be. So when stats like these are circulated or put up, I understand they're trying to infer the point that the WNBA has this collective incoming new group of talent surrounding the WNBA. But at the end of the day, no one is being guarded like Caitlin Clark, and she's still destroying the numbers on the offensive board, not to mention the numbers she's putting up with assisting her other teammates around her team. So I appreciate, again, this like inference of all this new incoming talent and this new era of basketball and this new era of point guards. I get it. I love it. That's great. But these girls are not being defended the way Caitlin Clark is being defended, and she's still coming out blasting numbers for the points per game. And the WNBA will lead you to believe that, like Olivia Miles and Paige Bueckers, you know, they're superstars, and they are. They really are. Olivia Miles is a dog. She absolutely is. But when you're not being guarded on the defensive end the way Caitlin Clark has, that takes away from how much I give a damn about what you do on the offensive end. When you're not being guarded that way defensively, of course you can put up those numbers on the offensive end. But I would like to see both of those two women be guarded the way Caitlin Clark is guarded. Please show that.
Peace. I'm out.